This one or the other one? The other one.
Hello there.
Good morning. Sorry about that.
It's been a crazy morning already. Thanks to Stephen from Stephen and Elaine. If you're new around here, I'm Stephen.
And I'm Elaine.
Today we're going to talk about traveling and Da Nang and some new perks we just got on the new card.
Yeah. So we're going to go over some credit card information and then also what it's like getting to Da Nang initially, even before maybe you start house hunting, or if you're just visiting for a vacation, what it's like to get there and how you can get there more cheaply. So also ask any questions about anything. The topic doesn't have to be Da Nang, doesn't have to be travel hacking, whatever you'd like to chat about. But that's just what we're going to start with as our topic. So the first thing would be searching flights. And this is where Stephen is really sort of he's in charge of logistics, director of logistics over here. And so one of the hacks that we found that's totally free, that you don't have to join anybody's website or pay for anything, is Google search for flights. So you want to explain how you do?
Yeah. Google Flights is one of the ways that you compare. It's like the base model for everything else. So if you think you're paying too much or too little based on your credit card portal or on Skyscanner, you can go to Google Flights and they'll tell you the cheapest that this flight is going to cost you. That's the one I trust because Google has no stake in the game, in my opinion. And are their flights always the lowest? Not always, but they can be pretty low. And so, go ahead.
I meant like the repositioning, like doing the search with no. So let's say you live. Okay. So let's say you live in like Salt Lake City, and you want to fly to Da Nang. You might want to buy a flight actually from like LA to Da Nang.
Okay.
So you do like the open-ended search. So I don't know if people know how to do that. I thought you were going to explain the open-ended.
Yeah. So when you go on Google Flights, you can put that you want to fly to anywhere. And that's a good thing because it tells you the cheapest flights out of where you are right now. So like she was saying, let's take Salt Lake City. You can take Salt Lake City and say, I want to get over to Japan. And it might tell you coming up to Seattle might be the cheapest route for you because the rotator that goes to Seattle is cheaper than the one that goes to LA.
But you don't actually tell it you want to go to Japan. You know you want to fly to Japan, but you just leave it blank. So you put in the departure airport and you leave the arrival airport empty. You can put in your dates, right? And you can put in, did you put in anything else?
You can put in your dates, and I would put in a general area where you want to go to because you can waste a lot of time going in the opposite direction because it'll tell you flights from all around you. So if you do want to go over to Asia, it might take you over to Europe.
But you can zoom on the map, right? Mm-hmm. So once you put it in with no destination, then you can just zoom in on where you want to go and it'll show you all the airports around you. So like, let's say you want to fly to Da Nang, Vietnam. The best thing may not be to fly into Da Nang. The best thing might be to fly in to Hoi An or to Ho Chi Minh City. And on the Google flight map, you'll be able to see the flight prices to all three of those destinations at the same time without having to search each one. And you can try different airports. So if you're in Salt Lake City, the cheapest flight to one of those might be from LAX. And then you do what's called a repositioning flight. So you purchase a flight from Salt Lake City to LAX totally separately, if that makes sense, instead of it being part of a leg of your flight, right? That's what we do sometimes out of Seattle's a pretty good one for Asia. So we don't usually have to do any repositioning flights. But then when we get to like Japan or Korea, then you put it in like let's say from Seoul, you put Seoul as your departure airport and you leave your arrival airport blank because it might be cheaper to fly to like Laos and then take a bus over or fly into like a neighboring country and then take a train or something.
Yeah. For example, there's no direct flights from Tokyo to Da Nang. you have to go through either Hong Kong or Ho Chi Minh City. And so if you want to get to Da Nang and you only have enough money to go to one spot, you may want to go to Ho Chi Minh City and then take the train up to Da Nang, or stay there for a few weeks until you save enough money to get up to Da Nang. Or there's a flight directly from Seoul to Da Nang. So you'll see, oh, well, maybe if I fly from Tokyo to Seoul, or if I fly from the States to Seoul instead of the States to Tokyo, then I could get a direct flight from Seoul to Da Nang. It's all a game and how you play it.
It is. Hopefully that makes sense, what we're saying. And if you have questions about it, feel free to ask us or email us. Our email is stephenandelaineshepard@gmail.com. Because when you're actually doing this, sometimes you have really specific questions, at least that we did. When we actually went to do these things, we had questions that couldn't be answered easily, but it's not that hard once you know how to do it. So anyway, reach out. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. I'm trying to go to the link for this. Sorry, our link today got a little bit messed up because we started it and then accidentally stopped it.
That's my fault. I am new to YouTube apparently and don't know how this thing works.
Usually I post the videos. So let's see, this is our one, and hopefully I can go into it, into the chat. Oh, maybe not this account.
And so when it comes to getting over to Vietnam, you have to know, because not everyone is going the same place that you're going. So that's what we find on YouTube. We try to research how to get to different places, but it's really hard to find people that are going to the direct spot that you want to go to. So this video is about getting to Vietnam and other places, but we may not end up on, New Zealand and stuff like that, which is an area that we want to go to. But we haven't found a direct way to get there yet. But as far as Da Nang, as far as the country that we're going back to later this year, and we just came from, spent 6 months there. It was a great time. You have to know that getting to Da Nang, once you get to Da Nang, everything is inexpensive. Getting to Da Nang is the problem.
So we want to help with some of those things. So the cost of getting there and how you can reduce getting to Da Nang for cheaper. So one thing that we do is, you'll hear us talk a lot about credit card hacks and credit card points. And I'm putting it in the chat. One thing that we do is use any new good sign-up bonuses. And right now, Venture from Capital One has a great bonus. So Stephen signed up just a few days ago, actually, and got this new card. That's the Venture. And I have a step up from that because we got this when we very first started traveling. So I have the Venture X. They're both great. But right now, that Venture card has extra good sign-up bonuses. So they immediately, you don't have to wait. You don't have to meet the medium spend. Right now, they will give you $250 in travel credits as soon as you get approved for the card. That, along with 75,000 points. So with getting this new card, you could get all the way to Vietnam from wherever you are. I don't think there's any city in the world that amount of points and travel money would not be enough for. So if you signed up for that card, you'd be able to get all the way to Da Nang using the Google flight hack that we mentioned, so you can see where the good flights are. Or if you're going to use the 75,000 points, what do you use for the point search? Point.me or
yeah,
the one where you...
Point.me. Point.me is a great website. You do have to pay for that one, and you put in what credit cards or what plans you have points for, both airlines and credit cards, and it'll tell you the best way to get to your destination based on your points.
So with that 75,000 points, you could search how to get probably the long flight, and then the $250 credit, that's where you would use the Google search function and determine the last little leg. So let's say that you ended up going to Seoul from Seattle. Seattle to Seoul has a direct flight, and then that would be on your using the points, and then you'd use the last $250 credit to get down to Da Nang. And Seoul does have direct flights to Da Nang. Japan doesn't. So
Seoul has direct flights. So if you're headed over to Da Nang and you're leaving the States, I would suggest going to Seoul first, because Seoul has a direct flight into Da Nang, whereas Tokyo has a direct flight into Ho Chi Minh City, and then
Yeah.
you connect. And when we went, we flew through Tokyo, and it was a big rainstorm in
It's a
Da Nang.
typhoon.
So we were delayed a couple of hours, and that was, its own thing, because now here we are in the lounge eating pho at, 1 a.m. trying to
To
get to
get
Da
to Da
Nang.
Nang, yeah. And you could do several different things. You could spend some time in Ho Chi Minh, and just enjoy a week there,
Yeah.
and then take a train up to Da Nang. So there's so many options and so many different things that you can do. It really just depends on what you're interested in and what you're looking for. And then let's see. So flights to Da Nang. Let us know what your questions are in the chat, because we're happy to help with your situation. And we know everybody's situation is different. For us, once we got there, we just camped out for like 6 months and learned about our area and enjoyed Da Nang. It's really walkable, as far as it's not a really spread out city. However, the Vietnamese people don't walk, especially in the summer. It's so hot. So when I say walkable, a lot of the sidewalks have motorcycles and things in the way of walking, but it is easy to get around pretty quickly by foot. But the grabs are also great.
And they're constantly rebuilding the city.
Mm-hmm.
They're constantly digging up roads and, laying new roads down, digging up sidewalks, laying new sidewalks down.
They're really quick with it.
So you may go down the road where it's construction and you have to walk in the middle of the street, and cars and motorcycles are passing you, within inches, but that's Da Nang, because they know that Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City are doing so well. They know that Da Nang is in the middle of the country, so they want that to do well. There's a train that's going to go from Hanoi to Da Nang to Ho Chi Minh City. So they know that that's a major stop. And it's a beautiful city. Like she said, very walkable, not many very highways that you can't walk down that don't have a sidewalk.
Yeah, because they don't only have freeways like we do.
Yeah.
It's just main roads and things.
Even the bridges have sidewalks for you to walk over. We walked all around that city. By the time we left, if it were in 30 to 45 minutes walk, we would walk there, just because, like, we like getting out. It's our exercise for the day, and we like walking off all of the food that we were eating.
Yeah, then we can eat more food. So living in Da Nang, the next one is cost of living, neighborhoods, lifestyle, and daily routines. Our daily routine probably looked a lot different than yours would, just because we're making videos and we're editing. However, everybody likes a delicious coffee first thing in the morning. So one thing we like to do is go out and get either an egg coffee, a salt coffee. We did a whole video on all the amazing coffees in Da Nang.
Let me tell you about this tiramisu coffee. It is absolutely delicious.
It's that Kopi coffee.
And I say absolutely on almost every video. If you've been watching our videos, I say absolutely almost every video. This coffee is absolutely amazing. I don't know what it is about it, but it tastes like a tiramisu on top and a coffee underneath. If you've ever had
but just the creamy part, there's not a lot of cake for it, so it's delicious though.
If you've ever had one and ate it with a spoon and wish that you could get it in liquid form, go to Kopi Coffee in Da Nang. They'll give it to you, and it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I don't know if there's one down in the An Thong area. We were up in Sun Tra, and so but I think it's a chain, so there are several of them. And let's see. So cost of living, how much would you say you spend in a day? The hotels, depending on where you are, you can get a hotel for $10 to $110. But we found that right around $20 is a really sweet spot for hotels. So you can get a clean hotel with like a mini fridge, AC, everything you need, bottled water for $20 a night.
Yeah, you don't have to go far to get cheap food in Da Nang outside of the An Thong area. You should know that the banh mi's were less than $2. The restaurants, we both ate dinner for like $12
at a fresh seafood restaurant,
and couldn't fit more into our tummies.
Yeah,
like,
so it's mostly the lodging and the flights that would be your biggest expenses, especially when arriving, because they know that tourists can afford higher prices. So the hotels and the flights are the most expensive parts of of the travel there, I would say.
Yeah, but once you get there, put your money away because you're not going to need most of it. You can get a bowl of pho for 75 cents. You can get a banh mi for $1. You can get different foods because the area over there, they think of restaurants differently. You know, they'll pull up a cart and pull out some chairs on the sidewalk, and then that'll be their restaurant for the night. And when it gets dark, they string lights around so people can see. But like you're eating off of a kiddie table in a small chair. You know, they have a big old bowl of a big old pot of soup that they ladle out for you, and then you sit in this small thing and you eat. But the food is absolutely delicious. There, I said it again. The food is amazing.
Yes.
Elaine,
So if you were,
that's one of Elaine's favorite places to go eat is a place that pops up on a corner random days.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can find really good deals for that. So the food, I wouldn't focus on the food. I would focus on the hotels and the flights for your initial budget. Because while you're looking, if you're going to try to find an apartment, while you're looking for an apartment, you want to make sure that you have a hotel. And you can book different hotels so you can try different neighborhoods, right? So if you want to go to the different areas, there's the Suntra, the Antong, Mian, Maike. If you want to be next to a beach, the what's the northern beach that we went to by the bay? So it's technically like a beach on a bay with that beautiful view when we were apartment hunting. What was that called?
I really can't remember.
Tonke.
Yeah.
The Tonke beach is amazing, and I think it's highly underestimated. Although the walkability up there was not as good, and there aren't as many English speakers and things like that. But the point is to go to those different areas and see for yourself what is a good fit for you. So you can reserve hotels in different parts of the city and just take a grab so that you spend 2 or 3 nights before you commit to an apartment somewhere, because you might think, oh, I'm going to love that area. And then you get there and go, oh, no, this isn't for me. So a good way to test it out is to if it's not a holiday, like right now is Tet. So it's the New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So things are really booked out. But if you're not going during a big holiday season, you don't have to book that far out. We'd only booked our hotel for 2 or 3 nights. And then we just kept adding nights on, and we ended up liking where we were staying, even though it's not where we knew we wanted to get an apartment. We really liked all the restaurants and that area. So we could also walk to a movie theater. So we stayed there for almost a week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you can just add nights on. So you don't have to worry about making a long booking for a week or two, because you probably won't get a refund if you do find an apartment when they overlap. So
yeah, because once you find an apartment, the game is on, right? It's like move in tomorrow, and you're like, well, I got 3 days left on my hotel. The hotel's like, sorry. Like, but if it's only $10-15 a night, you really don't care because you're getting a discount by moving into an apartment.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
so we didn't get ours back, but we used our Capital One credit card. So we used points.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't lose any money. We did lose money if you think of the points as having a monetary value. But our hotel was like $15 to $17 a night. So missing out of a couple nights didn't bother us at all.
We really built up on the Capital One points. That's another good point while we were over there. It's because Capital One points go a lot further than the Amex points or the Chase points.
Plus you get 2 times the points every time you spend. So
we went to a resort over there that was 77% off for my birthday.
That was a good one.
And we used Capital One points.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really inexpensive. They took the points, and then we had 4 days. And
3 nights, 4 days.
One of the nicest resort rooms overlooking the beach. You know, it rained one day, but it didn't matter because even the sky looked beautiful when it was raining. So yeah.
What were you going to say about that? That the points we used?
The points, if you're going over there and you have the ability, I would say to get a lot of Capital One points. Start using your Capital One credit card to get 2 times the points on all your spending, because when you get over there, you can spend those points again based on rooms or resorts and stuff like that you may want to do that you don't have the money for.
Mm-hmm. I'll put the link for that video so you can see how we did that, because we explain it in the video as well. And then we have the visas. So if you're trying to relocate to Da Nang, one thing that Vietnam doesn't currently have is a retiree visa. So everybody gets a tourist visa, and depending on what country you're from, it's for a different length of time. Us being from America, ours is for
90 days.
90 days.
Now, we knew an American that had a business visa. He invested into a business over there, and he was able to be over there for 9 months.
Yeah.
As you can see, Elaine has her Seahawks gear on.
We got the Super Bowl coming up.
Ready for the Super Bowl.
Super excited.
We all know the Hawks are going to win. It's a great thing.
Oh.
But
so yeah, so the visas, some countries you get 45 days. As Americans, we get 90 days, but you can't do anything like, unless, like Steven said, you invest in a business, and that literally means that you start a business there. But when we asked about it, they said we had to put $30,000 into a bank account. And anyway, so that could be a big expense. However, the Vietnamese government does not mind issuing you 90-day visas after 90-day visas, and you can stack them. So what a lot of people don't know is you have to be out of the country of Vietnam to apply for a visa, but you can apply for multiple visas. So let's say you were going to go in March for 90 days, you could go March, April, May, and then you'd need another visa. You have to be out of the country to apply, so you have to leave and come back. And it takes them 3 to 5 days to approve a visa. So if you don't want to spend, was it 3 to 5?
3 to 5. So,
okay.
It was 4. It was 4 days. I heard on average. Yeah.
But if you don't want to stay outside of the country for that many days, you just want to do like a flight run real quickly. It can be faster than the bus run, actually, which is kind of funny if you just fly to a really close airport like Bangkok Airport. But you don't want to wait the 4 days. If you now applied for all 3 visas, so you applied for one for March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, you could get them all approved, and then you only have to leave the country for an hour to activate them. So you could do it yourself without paying a visa company.
We all know life happens. So one of the downsides to this is you have to know the days that you were leaving and the days that you were coming back. And 6 months from now, you got to know when you're leaving and when you're coming back, because that visa is only good for 90 days. So if you leave early and you come back after that visa started, you may only have 85 days, you know, but that visa is good for 90 days. It started, 5 days ago, but you don't know, you didn't know when you were going to leave the country. A storm came, storms in October, November, December timeframe really were canceling flights and delaying flights for people to get out.
Which is okay. Oh, sorry. It's okay if you don't mind not using it all. So if you don't mind, like we left 2 days early of our visa, and so we forfeited 2 days. And if there was a storm, you might just forfeit a couple days of your visa, but you still then could activate it once you left the country and come back. And if there is a storm and flights are canceled, which they don't cancel them that long, as soon as they can fly again, that's what happened to us. Same day, Ho Chi Minh City, like they were like, all right, planes are back up in the air. But you could still do that. You would just, you might only have 85 days instead of 90 days out of your visa.
Yeah. And if you save up enough money, you can pay some of the visa companies and fly out and do the same thing. Fly out of the country for an hour, turn around, fly back into the country and do well. But a regular visa, just one-time visa is like $25. Whereas if you want a rush visa, you don't want to do the 4 days outside of the country, it's like $175.
So it's a lot cheaper to do it yourself at $25. That's what we're saying. And stacking them makes it so that renewing them is a lot cheaper also, because we left the country for 8 days. We stayed in Bangkok for 8 days using points at a hotel and using our miles. We actually made money on a visa run. We got, I think, a $65 or $67 refund in cash on our credit card. So we made we made money. But I put the Lynn visa over there in the comments so you can see that people do like using it. But if you're on a tight budget and you can't afford to pay $150 every time you're trying to renew your visa, then I will put the Vietnamese immigration site up. There are some fake ones out there. This one looks like a fake one,
That's
huh?
a fake one. Yeah, there are some fake ones out there that will charge you a fee higher than $25 for a one-time entry. Don't do those.
We'll put the link so that you can, because I almost just clicked on the wrong one, a sponsored, not the real Vietnamese one. So I'll put the link in the comments as soon as it comes up.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the one.
Yeah, as long as you follow the rules, Vietnam will more than likely approve your visa. Don't leave late from Vietnam because they flag you, and then your next visa, just because you pay for your visa, does not mean that they're going to let you in the country. So you got to know that.
Yeah, we haven't had a problem though.
We haven't had a problem,
No.
but if you pay for your visa late, if you not pay for your visa late, if you leave after your visa is expired, then you better watch out because they may or may not approve your next visa. And just because you paid the fee doesn't matter.
Well, and also make sure you communicate. Like if there is a storm and your flight is canceled, just make sure that you communicate with immigration. But they're lenient if you can't get out. We give ourselves a buffer. So we try to leave a few days before the visa expires, and not everybody does that. Some people leave same day, but you just never know. And you could take a bus if you had to get out, or a train if the flights were canceled because of a storm. So you've got a lot of different options for sure.
And you could be like us. You could find yourself finding an apartment over there really fast within like 48 hours. And everything's working well, but you signed a 6-month lease instead of a 3-month lease because it's a little less expensive. Well, now you have to leave the country after 3 months and then turn around and come back because you have an apartment.
Yeah.
You have the 3 months on your lease.
And you have to give your new visa information to your landlord. So the landlords have to report to the police your new visa stamp. So they usually they need a picture of it.
As soon as you land and you get that stamp, I would say in the airport, before you leave the airport, send that to your landlord. We had some friends who postponed it and waited till the next day to send it. And within a week, there was immigration at their door coming in, telling them that they couldn't be there. They weren't registered to be there anymore. Their visa had expired. They needed to leave. And when they got it all sorted out, they found out that they had to pay a fine of about 5 million dong because you didn't get your stamp to your landlord. Your landlord didn't put it in quick enough, and we had to come out here. So you have to pay for our gas. You have to pay for our time to come out here. It's about 5 million dong, which is about what?
$20 US or so? 40?
No. Every million's
Here,
like,
I'll put it in here.
Yeah, every million is like 40 USD. So
we can't remember the conversion now.
Yeah. So it's a pretty pinch to your pocket. $200.
Oh, 5 million is $193.
Yeah.
Almost. So
okay,
so sorry.
They're really on top of it. It's a really laid back country. You really don't see a lot of cops and stuff out there when you're out just doing your normal thing. You may see one or two police cars rolling down the streets with their lights on. Not a big thing. You mess with immigration, they are at your door.
Yeah. Okay, so apartment hunting tips and local rental insights is our next subject. So yeah, what are our apartment hunting tips? The biggest tips I would say, which I think everyone says, is make sure that you go in person. So show up and look at the apartment, because some of those pictures look amazing, and when you get there, the condition of the apartment and or the building is not the same. So sometimes they'll use the original pictures. You know, when you go to like stay at an Airbnb or something, and someone has used the pictures that they had to buy their house. So like the house looked like that before their furniture was there or different things like that. That's what they do. They use maybe a 10-year-old picture sometimes, not everybody, but you don't know which ones. So, and then also sometimes they use a picture of an apartment in the building, but it's not the same apartment you're going to be renting. So the layout might be different. The shower might be different. We absolutely loved our apartment, and our apartment building was great. But as we were leaving, we asked to look at some other units in our building, and we found out that not all the showers were glassed in. So before, if we go back, we had wanted to stay in the same building, and now we know we're going to have to ask for exact pictures and or do a live video chat because they're not all the same, even in our building. And it wasn't that big of, it didn't have that many apartments even.
Mhm.
There were like 6 floors of apartment, 7 floors, because some
8
floors
floors.
was one was like a grocery store and a lobby and that kind of stuff. So,
Mhm.
or we didn't have a lobby, but a parking area. Anyway, and so just look at it, be on site and look at it, or have someone else look at it for you, but don't do it based off the pictures. And sometimes the pictures look great and you show up and the apartment looks great and it smells like mildew. We had one where we showed up and it was a real strong mildew mold smell, and you wouldn't have been able to tell that from a video or from a photo. So in person really makes a big difference.
Also, you don't know what the last tenant did.
Mhm.
So the tenant who moved out, you would hope was on good terms with the landlord. Sometimes they just take their stuff and go because they don't want their deposit back
Mhm.
and they use it as the last month's rent. Whereas,
I think the guy that had ours did that before,
yeah,
because he
just
just
left a
didn't
lot of
come
stuff
back.
around the apartment. Just he was they whoever they were. There was mold everywhere. There wasn't I don't think there was a clean person or a person that really cared about
Mhm.
like mold in the crack by the sink and mold around the sink and mold in the corner in the shower and stuff like that. Stuff that we know that we can clean.
Mhm. And that we care about.
Yeah, that we care about, that we didn't leave when we transferred the apartment
Right.
over.
Right. But like you said, I don't think they were there for the last month or so. So no one was running the dehumidifier or the AC or anything. So that if an apartment sits empty, the humidity in Da Nang in Vietnam is so high that mold is definitely a problem for everybody. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so
So
look at the, oh,
before you put down a deposit, because they'll
mhm.
ask you to put down a deposit so that they take it off of the market for anybody else that's coming
And
in.
you do not get deposits back. In
Mhm.
any case that we've heard of, you don't get it back. So even if you change your mind, you will not get your deposit refunded.
Yeah, make sure that you look at a lot of apartments.
Mm.
You may see one that you absolutely love. Before you put money down on it, make sure that you go there in the evenings to see what the loud music is, to see if there's any karaoke around the area or any loud restaurants.
Construction, because there's a lot of construction in Da Nang.
They don't stop construction just because it goes dark or because it rains or lightning and stuff like that. They work through all of that. So know that when you get up in the morning, your alarm clock won't be a jackhammer next door. You know. What else?
Yeah, so just I don't know, let's see. So what were things that we wanted to know? If you get a hotel in your area, or you just go down and hang out for the day, or like you said, hang out at night in that area, you can find a lot out about that neighborhood and if it's something that you would like. And sometimes some people might, if you're working at a different time because you're working remotely, you have to be careful about when, like, if there's a lot of noise in the morning instead, when you need to be on conference calls or things like that. So anyway, just go to the location, hang out in the neighborhood, check out the local coffee shop, walk down the streets and things, and just see if it's the right area for you all hours of the day.
And look for other expats. Now, not all other expats speak English, but look for other expats and ask them, how do you like being around here? What are some of the good things and some of the bad things about being around here? Tom K is a little further away from downtown Da Nang, but it has its own little shops as you go around in the cab.
Mhm.
You can see your own little stores and places where you could go to convenience stores to get milk and eggs and grocery stores to get all the other essentials.
Fresh seafood places too.
But just know that you're not, just know that how far you are based on a grab is what, you got to calculate the walking area that you're going to do, because unless you have a motorbike, unless you can afford a motorbike, it's a pretty far distance.
And getting a license, we should write that down for another discussion, because as Americans, we don't qualify to get a license. So we have an international driver's license. We both made sure to get one of those. But Vietnam is not on the same treaty or agreement as a lot of the other countries in Southeast Asia. So you can drive a small electric bike or electronic motorbike,
You
but
can,
not a.
yeah, the licenses over there are for engines. So if you have an electric bike, you still can ride it around without a license, or anything less than 50 cc's, which isn't a big bike. And if you go out in the hills, you'll have a hard time getting up a lot of the mountains and stuff.
Mhm. But you can
Excuse me.
always get a Grab or something for that.
Yeah.
So
So we've heard that if you have the international driver's license, some of the cops will let you go because they understand you may not know the rules, but at least you tried. But if you don't have a license at all, if you go over there and think to yourself, well, I got my American license, it's going to be good here in Vietnam, you're going to get hit with a healthy fine. You're going to come around the corner because that's how they pull people over. You come around the corner and the cop is pointing at you to pull over.
with a stick and a whistle. It's
and
very
don't-
different from our situation.
Don't run because they're going to get you.
Okay, so then we had standby flights, travel flexibility, and loyalty programs. So that loyalty programs, I think that should be a whole different thing if
Yeah.
we go into like IHG, Marriott, Hilton. But as far as like the credit card, the Capital One that we use, some of these cards offer the travel flexibility. They offer travel insurance. So if you do miss a day at a hotel because of a typhoon, certain credit cards will cover that and others will not. So you have to make sure that when you book your flights and hotels that you're using one that has insurance. If you care, if it's $15 a night, maybe you don't worry about it. But if it's a $2,000 flight across from the West Coast to Asia, that's pretty expensive. You'd want to make sure that you had travel insurance for that. So with your credit cards, just make sure that in the fine print, yeah, that they say that they cover that. Then you don't have to worry about it, and they usually get it reimbursing.
And we put that out there because it's one of the least used capabilities of a lot of these credit cards because it doesn't happen that often, right? We even made that mistake when my phone was stolen. I
Yeah.
bought it with that credit card, and they said that the credit card said that they would replace it. But in that moment, you feel so violated,
Kind of
emotions are running
panicking,
high,
yeah.
and so I just paid it out of pocket, whereas the credit card would have totally reimbursed me for it. So when you do it, think about stuff like that when you're booking the flights, because these days on the flights, they try to get you to pay so many dollars per ticket so that you can change your flight and stuff like that. Whereas the credit card already gives you insurance if the weather happens. If there's a typhoon and you can't get out and the airline has to close, then the card will give you. American Express is good for that. They'll give you the money right then because they're their own bank.
Yeah.
And then they'll investigate to see if it was worth it. Whereas Chase will wait for a few days, do the investigation, see if it's worth it, and then pay you.
And the only credit card that we were able to get while overseas, like that would ship, we lost an Amex. We lost a couple of cards. You lost several cards with your phone. And Amex was the only one who would mail the card to where we were. Everyone else mailed it to our home address where we were not. And it took several months for us to get those. So you just have to kind of figure out which one is the right fit for you, depending on what kind of travel you'll be doing, how long you'll be traveling. Hello, Harris. Thanks for joining us. Do you have any questions about Da Nang, Vietnam, traveling in general? We were going to talk a little bit about flight flexibility.
Yeah. And getting to an area where you feel like you can be safe once you get there. Da Nang, to me, is one of the safest areas that I've been to since we've been traveling these last 3 to 4 years. It is, we didn't have to worry about dark alleys. It's very well lit, but we walked home.
There were dark alleys.
Nights.
We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. We walked home several nights by ourselves down roads that I wouldn't walk down in America, that are being worked on, that have so many, so much red tape and stuff. Don't walk here and stuff like that. That the lights weren't even working.
You're staying, the Doha. How do you like it? 27th, you need to get cash to pay them, or can I use my Visa card from Chase? You can use your Visa card at hotels. And what's amazing about that is then you'll get more points. Also, the Doha has a really good laundry service. So for 2 kilograms of laundry, I don't know that I can remember the price now, but it was like, it's less than $4. It was really inexpensive.
And they get it back to you very fast.
Yeah, you can let them know if you need it same day or the next day. There might be a little bit of a charge if you like hand it over afternoon and need it same day. But definitely use your card whenever you can. There are a lot of places that will accept cards, but they still prefer cash. And there's a new tax in Vietnam since we left. It's some places are saying 3%, some places are saying 5%, depending on what you're purchasing. But a lot of places will take card, but they'll charge you an extra 3%. Hotels won't do that kind of thing. Any bigger businesses, any coffee chains, the little mom and pop-up places, they of course take cash only, but even some of the bigger restaurants and things down on the beach will ask for cash only. One of our favorite places is Casa Bay. Casa is a restaurant, Italian restaurant, but Casa Bay on the beach, often their credit card machine is not working, and so you need cash. And then other places will ask to pay for an additional 3% as a credit card fee. So just know that you can just ask that. They're very upfront about it. Is there a fee to use my credit card? But Doha Hotel, you can absolutely use your card. And Chase is a good one.
Just make sure to verify with the front desk after you do it, because if you've used Chase before, they all think that it's like booking.com or something like that you book through, because they know that it's another site.
Yeah, it shows up to them as
when you get your reservation, go downstairs to the front desk and say, hey, I made this reservation. This is my confirmation number. They'll look it up. And a lot of times they'll keep you in the same room. They did that for us.
If you're extending.
If you're extending, they won't ask you to move. They don't, it's not like that in that hotel. Which is great, because if you're like us, we had 2 twin beds. One of the beds was laid out and the other one was had our suitcases on it for easy access.
So there's a video. I'll see if I can find it. There's a couple, but because it's a great restaurant. There's a restaurant within walking distance. Maybe I can just pull it up on Google and send it to you here. The one with they'll be right next to the Ban Zhao.
Yeah.
You want to talk about
So in Da Nang, there are a lot of Michelin selected places, Michelin stars, like they have all around the world. In Da Nang, they have, I think, 2 or 3 restaurants that have actual stars, but everywhere else is Michelin selected. And around that area, there's a restaurant called Bao Dong.
I'm gonna try to see if I can. Bao Duong.
Yeah, and it is Michelin selected. It's been Michelin selected for the last 3 years, and it's because they serve less than 10 things.
Like less than 5 things.
Less than 5 things. And they do it all really well.
They do it amazingly. The best we've had. And it's not the only Michelin selected Ban Zhao, but it's our favorite of all of them.
We went to some different ones, and the way that you prepare your food here to us is better than you prepare it other places. One of the other places we went to, you had to dip the rice paper in water. If you left it in there too long, then it would get too soggy. If you left it in there too short, it would be too hard. And then you wrapped your food in it, and then you ate it, it was absolutely delicious. But it just wasn't, what we like. This place makes, the place that's in the chat right now, it makes such good food, and it makes it fast. So, 2 minutes after you order, literally 120 seconds after you order, your food is sitting there, being delivered to you.
Fresh, hot.
And it is so good. And it's the same every single time. So if you like it, you know how it's going to be. If you don't like it, I would suggest not going there again, because it's going to be the exact same way.
That's true.
We run into so many people who it's their first time there, and they don't give you instructions. So once you get there, you order the food. The menu is everywhere, because, like she said, it's like 5 things. And then other people are looking at their plates like, I don't know what to do with this. They just tell you, eat up. And you look at other tables and everyone's eating it a little bit differently. But we like to combine all the things. And yeah, our video about it, we had to put it in a video because it's one of the best places.
There's also a frog soup. It's called Mi Quang Ek. That's the second link I just put in. I don't know how you feel about eating frog. Frog is a traditional Vietnamese food. It's very low calorie, high protein. I think it's delicious. I love it. But I'll put a video in of it has two of the places that we ate frog. The one has crispy fried frog skins, and those were delicious as well. So here's the video if you want to see it before you do it. And I think also in that video, we ate the bonzao.
Okay.
But I'm not sure, but we did it multiple times because it was so good. So yeah, well, congratulations. That should be fun. We're jealous. We don't think we'll make it back in March. We're hoping for April, but we'll see how it goes. Do you have any questions about getting to Vietnam? It sounds like you already have a hotel. Maybe you already have a flight.
When you get there, cash. When you get there, I know we're talking about using the Capital One, and always ask to use it wherever you go.
Right.
But if they say no,
like both of these restaurants, I think are cash only.
Because there's someone, in our case, it's been a woman almost every time. And when you go to pay, when you tell your server you want to pay, they turn to the head woman, and then she comes over there with a wad of cash. That is
because it's a safe country. Yeah. So she's got
that thick. Yeah. And she is the register. And she looks at your table, she looks at everything you ordered, and then she writes it down for you. You pay it and you leave.
So you don't have to get cash now before you leave. I don't know who your bank is. You do your banking, your debit card from. Stephen has USAA. I have US Bank, and both of those reimburse us 2 times a month for ATM fees. So if you need cash, we waited until we arrived at the airport and used an ATM. And you can use any international ATMs. Not all ATMs in Vietnam are international and accept international cards, but you can get a list of them, and you can always just try. And so you don't have to get cash before you go. You don't have to travel with it because it's a lot. But if you're flying on Viet Air, they don't take card on the flight. So if you want to buy any food or drinks in flight, you have to already have cash, but they will take US dollars and convert it for you at maybe not the best rate.
Not coins. They don't have coins in Vietnam.
And they don't accept coins from other countries.
So when you go to pay with coins, they just look at you like you're insane. Which is a great thing because coins are expensive to make.
And heavy and jingly. So but you don't need, oh, sorry, go ahead.
We asked our Grab driver as soon as we got there where we could get money from an ATM, and he pulled over to an ATM.
There's one right down the street from Doha. So if you walk out of Doha, you go left, and then there's two international ATMs out of Doha. Take a left, because sometimes they run out of cash. So many people get cash, and if it's like a Friday or something, sometimes the ATMs run out of cash. But there's two right next to Doha. Before you go get any food, you can grab that. And also, Toy is amazing. His name is Toi.
Toy.
He works there, and it's a great insight for, like, if you want something for breakfast or you want something, just ask him, like, Toy, what would you eat? And he'll walk you to the restaurant or to the shop, or at least until you can see the sign, and until you go over there. So tell Toy we say hi. Stephen and him were best friends while they were there. But he can hook you up with some really great places besides the ones that we've already told you about.
He doesn't speak great English. As a matter of fact, I don't think he speaks any English.
Yeah.
But he is open to helping.
Yeah.
He is one of the most helpful people that you'll ever meet. He totally understands you based on your gestures, and he'll take you anywhere you need to go. And
Google Translate, you can always pull out Google Translate. So, but yeah, very helpful. And so are most of the locals. If you ask them, if they don't speak English, you can use the Google Translate, but people will help you with all kinds of things around there. Oh, and near the Doha, I'm confused about how to do the cash thing. Buy a coffee so I can get $20 or something. No, they don't do that like they do here in the States. They don't really give cash back. So you do have to go to an ATM. But if it's a Chase credit card, I don't know that you'll be able to get out cash without a fee. So Chase is we like them for all their credit card perks, but for cash, they are one of the worst banks because they charge you the month that you got the cash. They charge you interest on that cash, and they charge you the following month half the interest again. So we called and we got it removed and canceled. We like I said, Chase is great for the travel perks, the $300, depending on which card you have, the $300 travel credit and all these different things. But be very, very careful about getting cash out on a Chase credit card because they charge interest and a cash fee the month of and the month after. And if you don't pay your full balance, they charge that until the full balance is paid. So it can get really, really interesting very quickly with the Chase credit cards and cash advances. So if you have a debit card that you could bring so that you could get cash out, that would be the best way. Worried about walking over there, so I picked Doha. Oh yeah, things are very, very close. Be very careful too of the streets. You have to look down a lot. I have injured my feet several times. Maybe wear a good tennis shoe. I like open-toed shoes, especially when it's hot in Vietnam. But there's a lot of gravel, uneven sidewalks, just debris and things get in the way. So yeah, just be careful. But you don't even have to go down main streets from the Doha to be able to get good food. Toy can definitely show you some places just right around the corner. We didn't even recognize what one was. It was like a bakery that had banh mi's. It's less than a block away from the Doha, so you're right there. But if you are going to only use your credit card, then maybe I would bring cash or get cash at an airport.
You can go to the bank. You're going over there in March.
Yeah, you can order it.
You still have time to go to the bank and then order the cash. That's the cheapest way you're going to get it outside of an ATM while you're over there. And like she was saying, the cash advance thing is horrible. So
yeah, for Chase, it's fine with like Amex doesn't do that for whatever reason, but Chase, they do it on all of our cards. We didn't even know. We were using a Chase card, a business card, to Venmo pay for something, and they were charging that as a cash withdrawal. So just be really, really careful because those extra fees can add up, especially if you don't know about it. But yeah, I'm so glad you're going to be staying at the Doha. I hope you like it. It is all the beds in Vietnam, even the $110 hotels, the beds can be a little bit more firm than what we're used to. So if you are staying for a longer period of time, you might want to go to Go Da Nang. I'll put that in the chat. Go Da Nang. I don't know if that'll be walkable for you, but it is a mall. It's very cool. It has a huge grocery store that's 2 different stories. It also has a CVS movie theater. I don't know how long you're there for. If you're only there for a month, you probably don't want to see a movie. But if you get rained out one day or something, they have movies in English. And they have fun snacks that are not what we're used to. They've got like seaweed snacks and squid snacks at the movie theater instead of just like popcorn and things. So $100 and 20s exchange at the airport, like $20 of it. So I have some cash.
So that's going to be expensive if you exchange it at the airport. The airport is going to be the most expensive.
They take advantage of your, bless you, of your situation. Yeah.
Yeah, just like everything else in the airport. I'm back. Just like everything else in the airport, they know they got you trapped. They know you're not leaving anywhere. So all food, all books, all magazines are going to be way expensive. And the cash exchange is going to be way expensive.
And I don't know if we've already said this to you, but if you get the Grab app before you go or before you land, then you don't have to negotiate with drivers. One thing that does happen with the Grab is that the Grab takes, we think, at least 40% of the money. So if you take a Grab from the airport to your hotel, it's just really easy. It's like Uber. You can put the address in. You don't have to try to explain which hotel you're at. So we definitely recommend that. And you can get it here while you're in the United States before you go. But then if you take, like, let's say you go to Go Da Nang and you just want to pick something up there. You're like, I'm just going to stop by. I'm going to shop for 10, 15 minutes. I'm not going to see a movie. And then I'm going to go back to the Doha. Instead of calling a Grab again, you can tell that Grab driver, I want to go back. And instead of ordering it on the Grab app, they'll charge you the same or less than the Grab app, but they get to keep 100% of that you give them. Now, what's great about the Grab is if you're not going to bring a lot of cash, you can use your card every time. So then it doesn't take away from how much cash you have. How long are you going to be staying in Da Nang with $100? Bring $100 and then take 20, exchange it for Vietnamese. So I have some cash. Oh, you can put your hi Kevin, you're back. You can put your credit card, your Chase credit card, or any credit card into the Grab app and not use cash. So instead of paying the drivers, you can even tip in the app using your credit card. Can you pull up your Grab app maybe just to show? I never used it. Steven used it the whole time we were there. But sometimes you can say, like, if the ride, because they only get 40 or 60%, we're not sure exactly how much of the ride. So if you pay with your card one way, you can make a deal with them on the way back. And they're excited because they get more money. You spend less money. And it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay. This is
he said, show us Steven credit card info. We should be able to, just to show you the inside of the app. And we put it on some of our videos too, to show you a little bit of how we use it. But what's great is if you don't speak a lot of, because there's multiple Dohas, by the way. Doha Central Bliss is hopefully the hotel you're staying at. But if you put the address in, can you pull up, grab a ride? Then you don't have to communicate with that with them. You can just put the address in. Oh, great. Stacking. We like stacking the visas. We think that's great because we do it all ourselves. We haven't used Lynn Visa, although people have said they have really great experiences. So yeah, enjoy. 6 months is definitely. Yeah. So it's just like Uber basically, but then you can type in the addresses and you don't have to try to communicate about that.
You can type in the addresses. The app already knows where you want to go. And then it tells the driver where you want to go. And then it tells you the license plate of the driver. So all you do is sit there and wait for that license plate to roll up. You hop in and they already know where they're going. The map sometimes takes them a weird way, but at least you can see their map. And it tells you how far out you are. You have a map, so you know you're not getting cheated no matter where you go. But when you get there, like she said, once you get to your destination, it offers you the ability to tip. And it's like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. The biggest tip that they offer is 50,000, where you can offer a custom tip. But just know that 50,000 is like $2.
Which is more than your ride will probably be. Maybe not from the airport, but most of your rides in and around Da Nang won't even be that much. So just to be careful of the culture and not to cause inflation and increases in pricing, you probably want to make what seems to us as a very, very small tip. So 10,000 dong is only 39 cents. And that may not seem like a lot, but the average income, I think, a day in Vietnam is $2. So it would be a lot. And if you make a big tip and end up paying more than you paid for the ride, that would, anyway, we try not to cause problems. We know that we do as expats and as travelers. We know that when we go to these cheaper countries, of course, we end up causing some inflation issues and pricing issues. But we just try to be careful and not over tip. How does the stacking? Oh, sorry.
So stacking works where you have to be out of the country when you apply for the visa. And being out of the country, you can apply for as many visas as you want. Some people do 2 or 3.
Right.
But you have to leave the country you have to have that entry stamp
to get that stamp
to start that visa.
So let's say, Kevin, that you wanted to do it yourself, and you stack 2 or 3 visas. Then if you did it now, March, April, May, then in May, all you have to do is leave the country and get the stamp. So you could take a train somewhere. You could take a flight. What you don't have to do is then sit and wait for your new visa approval to process, which can take 3 to 5 days. Ours took 4 while we were in Bangkok. So you can just buy a return flight same day. And we had some friends do that. They flew out, they stayed with their credit card perk. They stayed in a lounge. Yeah. Had, free mood. They also give massages at the Bangkok airport lounge. So it's really nice. Great way to relax. And then you get back on an hour-long flight, fly back over. It's really quick. And in less than a day for however much, whatever flight deals you get, but you can use your credit card money to do that too. So we actually got a $63 back from doing ours.
And if you can line it up perfectly, you can save yourself about $150.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't want to stack visas, you can pay extra for a rushed visa at certain visa places and just leave the country and then turn around and come right back in the same day, sleep in your bed that same night. It's just that if you stack visas and you know when you're leaving, if you're that good at that thing, then you can save yourself a lot of money. But if you don't want to play the game and you have a little extra money, then go ahead and pay the $175 so that you could just fly out, turn around, and fly right back. That, excuse me, even with the flying out, waiting, and then coming back, it's still less than the bus run that you go to Laos. Going to Laos is a 6-hour bus run. So you leave at like 7 in the morning. You drive 3 hours, you go to the bathroom, and then you drive another 3 hours, and then you get the rush visa, and then you come back in, you go drive 3 hours, you rest, and then you come back 3 hours, you could be at the destination. So some are lucky to get back before like 8, 9 o'clock at night based on traffic and everything else that you got to do. If you don't want to do that and you have the money, I would definitely go to a place like Lend Visa, get the visa, fly out, wait 2 hours at the airport, fly the hour to Bangkok, wait 2 hours, get a massage at the lounge, and then fly the hour back. And that's 6 hours. And you're back, to eat dinner, to eat pho at a restaurant, and then go to bed that night.
But you still have to pay Lend Visa for them doing the paperwork and all of that. So it's definitely cheaper to stack them yourself and to do your own flights and things. But yeah, some people want the convenience of not having to do it themselves. So I did put the Lend Visa. I can put it again. I don't know if you can scroll up if you've just joined or not. So I can put the Lend Visa back in there. But if you want to get your own visa, it's only $25, and you can get all 3, and then you can decide what type of visas to get, right? So there's 2 different kinds. There's
the excuse me, my nose is running. There's the multi-entry visa, and then there's the one entry visa, where if you know that you're not leaving Vietnam, then why pay the extra $25? But if you're going back and forth, if you're going to the Philippines, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Australia, stuff like that, get the multi-entry visa, and then you're fine. For us, it was simple. We knew that we weren't leaving Da Nang. There's so much to do to explore in Da Nang. We went to the Marble Mountains and got a full workout, a full leg workout when we were doing it. I'm good. I have their site.
Okay, good.
Using them for either type of visa. All right. Then if you're good in advance, Kevin, then do what you got to do. We are not that good. Just because things come up, life happens to us. We realized
that's how we ended up back here in the United States instead of in Vietnam, right? So
yeah. So do it, knock it out of the park. Tell us how it goes. We would love to hear about that from you. We know how much we enjoy Vietnam, how much we enjoy going around different places in Vietnam. So there was no thought about us leaving multiple times just to come back into Vietnam.
But we did pay for it, I think, the first time.
Yeah, because we didn't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we gave ourselves the leniency to be able to fly out. But when we did fly out, flying to Bangkok is a half hour, and it was, the easiest. I'm pretty tall, so I didn't have a lot of leg room, but even with that, the flight was only an hour.
So FYI, if you are tall, so sorry we did not say this before because we had some viewers that had to cancel a flight. They had to forfeit, I guess, the flight. If you are tall, Vietjet flights have airplanes designed for Vietnamese people. So if you're 5'2", like me, we're sitting down, so you cannot tell how tall Stephen is, but I'm 5'2", which is taller than like the average Vietnamese male, I think. But Stephen is 6'5". So his knees were literally in the back of the seats in front of us. He had to put one of his legs under my seat, and us sitting next to each other, it was fine. But if you're flying by yourself, and you don't fit in the seat, they will have you forfeit the flight. So just be really careful. If you're tall, you might have to pay a little bit more for a larger seat. An exit row, and or a different flight, not Vietjet, because the planes are just built with little seats. And even I don't even think the problem was legroom for him. He literally his bone hips were too wide to fit in the seat. So the armrests don't go up on some of those different planes. Unlike in America, where we just have the bars and as armrests, the whole thing went down the side. So anyway, just know that. Just know if you're tall, to look into the legroom and things.
So to answer your question, both times when we went, once from Tokyo and once from Bangkok, we didn't have to show a flight saying that we were leaving the country. When this is one of the countries that want to know when you're leaving, like I said, they give you enough rope to hang yourself. So if you leave after your visa expires, don't guarantee yourself that you're going to get another visa when you apply for it.
Just follow the rules. Yeah, be considerate. Follow the
rules. They absolutely love having us in the country. They absolutely love having us in the country. No matter where we went in the city, no matter how far we were from the tourist streets, the Antong tourist streets, they were all smiling at us and wanted us there. We never ran into a negative person, no matter how far we went away from the tourist streets. So we think that the whole country just, they were great ambassadors at welcoming us.
The only crime that was a violent crime that was committed the entire 6 months we were in Vietnam was committed by an American tourist. With a hammer, because they don't have guns and things for the public. So anyway, he tried to rob a jewelry store with a hammer. So yeah, in general, you're safe. One thing I will say is that more recently, the safety is still fine. It's theft. So at the beach, you used to be, and I mean, just 6 months ago, you could leave your phone, your wallet, everything with your towel and shoes at the beach.
And go surfing.
Yeah, go surfing, swimming, whatever. Recently, unfortunately, the last 2 months or so, crime has increased. They think it's tourist on tourist crime, unfortunately, not Vietnamese. But anyway, now you do need to be a little bit more careful. Don't leave your phone and your wallet out while you're swimming. I mean, if you're coming from a country like America or Florida, Hawaii, you already know this. This is something we wouldn't do. But Vietnam has been so safe, and they'll turn in wallets, they'll turn in cash, they'll turn in all kinds of things. They're not, the culture is very different than in America. So anyway, it's getting, with more and more tourists going, it's getting a little bit different. We're having an impact on the area. So anyway, don't leave all your stuff while you go swimming. Just use your general, street smarts, and leave things in your hotel.
And you can ask people to watch your stuff. Like, that's how great the country is. If you see another family and you guys get to talking, you can ask them, hey, could you watch my things while I go swim or something like that? And they'll keep other people away from it. The country itself doesn't like crime. So they will tell on a person committing a crime, no matter if it's a local countryman or a tourist. They'll go out of their way to make sure that everyone is safe away from crime, because they like walking the streets just as much as we do. On the beach, they do so much. They have so many things to do on the beach, from restaurants on the beach to workout dances in the middle of the night, which was a very fun thing to watch. And so they don't want people walking around. They don't want to feel threatened. They want to be able to live in such a free country. So just know that when you get over there, that's the way it's going to be.
For Harris, I'm a little confused about the flight to Bangkok. What you're asking, he said, I'm good. I will, let's see, not that one. Should I book a flight for Bangkok? Then maybe so that if they ask me when I'm leaving the country, I got to show I'm leaving where I'm going. We didn't have that problem.
No.
But we flew in from Japan to Ho Chi Minh. So I don't know that we didn't have to prove that we were leaving again. We've had to do that for some countries. I think we had to do that for Australia, maybe Morocco. I can't remember. Anyway, some countries do make you have proof that you're leaving the country. Vietnam did not have us do that. Everybody's experience, though, of course, is different. But I think we travel so much. Our passports show that we have so many entries and exits, and we've never violated. We were close, but we have never violated anyone's our visas. We almost did in the EU.
Shenzhen.
The Shenzhen, I got a little confused about which countries, because I didn't know Switzerland was not, or isn't it now? Anyway, they got added while we were doing our trip planning.
So don't worry about showing any return flights. Don't worry about that. We booked our flights 30 days before our visa expired to go to Bangkok.
He said, what if you're fat? So they don't, as long as you can get in the seat, as long as you can physically fit in the seat, you're fine. What happened was this gentleman, his hip bones were so wide, he literally could not get between the two. It's like a metal armor wall. It's hard to explain. But no, if you're chubby and you just snuggle with your neighbor, that's fine. But yeah, it's more of like a height issue, the knees, the legs, and the hip bone stuff. But yeah. Just know that Vietjet has really good, super cheap flights in and around Vietnam and within Vietnam, but it is just a smaller, plane and things. So
just know that before you book it. There are other places, there are other airlines that fly around Vietnam. Just before you book it, understand that you are going to be on the smallest, on the plane with the smallest leg room.
Some of the smallest people, yeah.
If you book Vietjet.
Yeah.
And you'll see when you get over there, because everyone, not everyone, but like there weren't many people over 5'5".
Yeah, I'm like super tall in Vietnam. It's very cool. Steven said my head sticks up above the crowd, so
easy to pick out.
Very cool for me. I'm not used to being tall. So I think that's about it. Unless you guys have any more questions, let us know right now in the chat if you have anything you want us to address. Our email, I'll put it in here in case you want to connect offline. I know not everybody wants to ask all their questions in front of everybody.
We absolutely love the emails that we get from people.
Yeah.
Telling them about Mr. Cow, telling them about
our agent that we were using,
Vietnam.
Mr. Cow, to find apartments. If you want his info, email us. You can just put the subject as like agent info, and I'll respond with his WhatsApp phone number. By the way, WhatsApp has just started translating in message. So I don't know if you guys already have WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the second most popular in Vietnam. The most popular chatting app there is Zalo. I'll type that in just so you can see how that's spelled. Zalo definitely translates within the app. It's wonderful. You don't even have to ask it to. You can just set it and it'll do it every time. But if you don't want to get an app, if you're not going to Vietnam for very long and you don't want to get an app just for Vietnam, a lot of people do have WhatsApp, and they do now translate Vietnamese in the chat. So
yes, we are still going back in April. That's the earliest that we're going to get there. And we're going to stay 9 months. We're going to progressively stay longer and longer each year, just because the reason for us coming back is getting more slim. America is very expensive compared to Vietnam. And so we like to save money over there. We were able to save a lot of money every month when we went over there, able to have a lot more perks than what we do here in the States.
And Vietnam's not the cheapest country in that area. Malaysia is actually cheaper. Indonesia has cheaper cities. So Vietnam, we chose because it's cheap, but it's also really safe. So some of those other countries, like in, what was it, Johor Bahru, we didn't experience any negative we didn't have any negative experiences while we were there. However, the vibe was definitely different. We felt like we needed to have more street smarts there. So there are cheaper cities in and around Vietnam. We do want to travel a little bit more in that area. There are a lot of cities we have not been to, but we just, we left stuff in Da Nang, so we have to go back to Da Nang. So, oh, you land April 2nd. Yeah, let's do it. We enjoy meeting up. We enjoy doing coffees. Once we, having a network and a community of people really, really helps in Vietnam, because you're able to recommend things to each other, not just restaurants and hotels, but things like doctors or dentists, where to get your vision done, vision checks, hearing. Some people want hearing aids and different things like that. So there are a lot of expats that rely on each other for good information. So
yeah, don't be afraid to ask another expat where to go or what to do, because a lot of them have valuable information and can't wait to share it.
Super helpful, super friendly. Just chat with people at bars. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Sorry that it was a rocky start today.
I'll make sure not to make the same mistake twice.
We're still learning how to do some of these things. So anyway, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Email us with questions, and
and we'll be back next week.
All right. Have a good weekend. Go Seahawks.
All right.
Bye.